Okay, and here is the third base. This is the home of the Hunting Lodge. The idea is that this is a group that isn't necessarily heroic or villainous. They're focused on hunting down and fighting monsters. Whether those monsters are beasts of the legends of the night or human. This base is a lot more confusing for a lot of my friends. Mostly because, well, it looks like that. A big circle radiating from the center. To help some of them, I included some handy signs. I'm kind of hoping the homecoming crew takes a look at these arrows because they are not as helpful as you would think. They only turn one direction. I can't have an arrow that points left. Here, I can show you. In alphabet, here are the letters. There's a right arrow. There's a down arrow. There's no left arrow. There's no up arrow. Right click to rotate. And that's what it looks like on the other side. Object. I can mess around with its coloring. And that's the end result. Delete. The down arrow. That's all it does. Maybe I'm just missing an option. Like, let's see what happens when I do this. Nope. Didn't change anything. So that's what I have to work with when it comes to putting in arrows to indicate where people can go. This is Daniel Taylor. He is an Arachnos soldier. The Arachnos soldiers are supposed to be the red side epic archetypes. They are soldiers of the main villain faction. Even more so, they are elite members of the red side villain faction. So elite, they think that they can be supervillains on their own. When Paragon introduced the alignment system so that we could change sides, we wound up with a lot of rogue Arachnos soldiers. People that were jumping sides to blue side. This is a character that is registered as a vigilante. This means he can hop from red side to blue side and back again at will. But when he's on red side, he's considered heroic, so that can screw up a few things. There are some contacts who won't talk to him. And if he joins a team of villains, if he jumps into his base when outside of a task force or strike force, he'll get kicked from the team. So, that said, on with the tour. This way we have crafting, but before we get there, we have the rec room. Here there's costume salvage, the tech salvage, the magic salvage. and inspirations. I don't have as many characters in this group, and I rarely play them. Most of my characters are above level 30 though, so none of them are slouches. It's just that when you have over 100 characters, it ends up being a coin toss between, do I want to play this character, or do I want to just cut loose and have some fun? This character, with his current build, behaves in a manner I like to call Rambo. He can get all sneaky, run up to an enemy, beat the crap out of them with one of his melee attacks, and then gun them down with his ranged weapons. The Bane Spider build is a hard-hitting build. But moving on. Started work on this room, trying to make it a bit more lived in, a bit more homey. This is supposed to be a library area where the characters investigate various monsters or criminals that they might be hunting. Portal for beginner zones. This one doesn't differentiate between blue side or red side. So they can just easily go to Atlas Park or Mercy Island. This is just some flavor. The medical area. Probably going to have to do some work to improve it. Because I'm pretty sure I've zoned into here a couple of times and been just as lost as my friends get. These are some arcane control items. Mostly I was just throwing stuff in here to see what happens, but I like the idea that the base is protected by a pack of mystical animals. Who's a good boy? Middle zones. Generally stuff that's level 20 and up. Well, level 20 to level 35. Wards and echoes. I'm probably going to have to look through these and see what's working, what's not. Looks like everything's up and running though. And the high threat areas. Danger zones. Granville. Darkest area. I know that doesn't mean much if you don't know the game. So, I'm going to have to rectify that at some point. And that's pretty much it for utility. Oh. This is where training's done. These characters enable players to modify the difficulty of the game, but Homecoming added a neat little facet where you can just do that on the fly, adjusting the level, adjusting the team size, and whether or not you're soloing bosses or archvillains. Archvillain is a classification where an enemy is designed to be defeated by a team of players. Some builds can still fight them just fine. Power, the garage. I have to admit, I'm not terribly proud of this base. Someday I'm probably going to have to go through and revamp it, make it into something better suited. Because right now, it's rather Spartan. And rather confusing. Even for myself. So, that's the hunting lodge. Thank you, and have a good one.